50 Cent is living like a king right now, and it all comes after Rick Ross pulled one of the most outrageous plays the streets have witnessed in years. He allegedly conned Big Meech, and rumors are swirling that Meech may have even ordered a hit on him. The tension has gotten that serious. What makes this betrayal so shocking is that, except for Meech, everyone else saw it coming. The streets are buzzing, the internet is exploding, and the whole situation feels like it was ripped straight out of the finale of a gritty crime drama. Still, the real question lingers.
Oh, no, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. I never wanted to work with him.
I'll buy your masters. You ready? I will buy your masters.
Why would Meech put his trust in a man who once worked as a corrections officer? In street code, that is something you never overlook. No matter how much someone tries to reinvent themselves, the past can always follow them back into the present. Meanwhile, 50 Cent is holding nothing back. His unloading direct shots at both Big Meech and Lil Meech across social media, making it clear he's not concerned with being diplomatic anymore. Each post has Ross laughing, brushing them off like trash, but the irony is striking. Seeing Meech smiling and embracing Rick Ross as if he was some kind of savior has left many stunned. Instead of standing solid after his release from prison, Meech chose to align himself with the one man who has publicly clashed with 50 for over a decade.
I feel bad for Lil Meech. I don't feel bad for no grown man on this planet. Like, I'm a grown man. I gotta feel bad for another grown man. Like, you a grown man too. Asking for my sympathy for you be alright. Oh,
50 never expected Meech to spark this kind of conflict, but the betrayal cuts deep. For years, Meech grinned in photos while standing beside the very man who always had his back. To 50, that loyalty flip must have felt like a dagger to the neck. But it didn't stop there. Meech didn't just twist the knife, he pushed it further in. He linked up with Floyd Mayweather, and standing right there was Lil Meech, the same young man 50 had put on, handed $5 million, launched into stardom, and carved out a future for. Yet now, Lil Meech is seen relaxing as if nothing happened, brushing off the man who elevated his entire family's legacy. That's a cold way to give back to the person who built your career. Some voices online claim that Big Meech's name made 50 wealthy. But the reality is clear. 50 didn't just profit, he built an entire empire from it. He created opportunities, showed loyalty, and maintained discipline.
Bad guy out of all of this.
Who's the bad guy? I don't think there's a bad guy.
No, yes it is. Yeah, Vlad, let's talk about it.
I think Meech is the one that made a mistake.
No.
No? You think 50?
No.
Lil Meech?
No.
Getting now.
Rick Ross knew perfectly damn well what he was doing and what that would lead.
And kept the brand alive when nobody else could. Compare that to Rick Ross, who treated Meech like a pawn in a messy street chess game designed for his own benefit. Ross played this out perfectly, almost as if he had anticipated every move and seen the betrayal written on the wall long before it happened. Tragedy struck as Ross played puppet master, stirring chaos, feeding his ego, and making headlines instead of putting in real work. Then, as soon as the streets heated up, he vanished, pulling a slick Houdini act before anyone could even connect the dots. But here's where things get even smoother. Just as the drama threatened to spiral out of control, Ross suddenly reappeared, claiming he had a shoulder injury. He made sure the news spread online, almost begging for sympathy, posts saying get well soon. But truthfully, pain had nothing to do with it. It was a carefully staged diversion. The real fire was coming from the crypto world, where Ross faced backlash over the infamous Boss S token scandal. Critics accused him of rug-pulling loyal fans, snatching their money, and disappearing without warning or apology. That's how he earned the nickname Rug Ross, a stain that still lingers. And notice the timing.
How do you feel about the rapper Rick Ross having the same name?
Well, the fact that he stole my name, not that we had the same name, he actually stole my whole story, my identity, the whole thing. You know, he built his career off of my legacy.
If Ross had stayed out of the way, Meech might have had a real shot at rebuilding his image and clawing back respect in the streets. But instead, he linked with the wrong people, made reckless moves, and just days after cozying up to Big Meech, acting like everything was fine, the crypto mess erupted. Lies and reckless behavior caught up fast, forcing Ross to hide behind the fake shoulder excuse. Rumors even suggest Ross pressured Meech to demand more money from 50 Cent, playing both sides for his own advantage. That kind of betrayal doesn't even sound real. It feels scripted, yet it's pure insanity. Now, with barely any money left to his name, Big Meech finds himself isolated while the industry avoids him like he's carrying a curse. Just being around Ross now is seen as bad energy. Remember those Wingstop franchises people thought were paying him? Reports say Ross secretly sold most of them off, leaving just a handful open to look legit while funneling the real money into real estate and private business plays. If Ross had stayed out of the way, Meech might have had a real shot at rebuilding his image and clawing back respect in the streets. But instead, he linked with the wrong people, made reckless moves, and now he's stuck watching everything crumble piece by piece. One mistake snowballed into another. Lil Meech wasn't much better. He tried to keep up with rappers like Gunna, blowing through millions like it was pocket change. He dropped stacks on chrome hearts, luxury cars, and designer flexes for the gram while the ground beneath him was collapsing fast. Now he's stuck watching everything crumble piece by piece. One mistake snowballed into another. Lil Meech wasn't much better. He tried to keep up with rappers like Gunna, blowing through millions like it was pocket change. He dropped stacks on chrome hearts, luxury cars, and designer flexes for the gram while the ground beneath him was collapsing fast.
Rick Ross knew perfectly damn well what he was doing and what that would lead.
Now all that flashy lifestyle has vanished, leaving nothing but receipts and regret. Online critics are ripping Big Meech apart, calling out the fake friendship with Ross and mocking how quickly it collapsed. Michael Rainey Jr. didn't hold back either. He made it clear he felt zero sympathy, saying they should have seen the setup coming a mile away. And in the shadows, 50 Cent, thriving off the chaos with his signature brand of pettiness. He doesn't just throw shade. When he strikes, he drops bombs big enough to scorch the entire block, leaving everyone scrambling to respond. Full threat mode activated. DJ Vlad even had to weigh in, because the last person you want smoke with is 50 Cent. He'll drag the beef out, flip the script, and set fire to anything in his way just for the satisfaction of saying, "I told you so." And let's not act brand new. This flame isn't only aimed at Big Meech.
We'll burn it all down. If you piss him off. His own sometimes, too. You know, he'll cancel BMF to prove a point. Regardless of how much money he makes.
What I'm doing right now, my shoulder broke, but we still getting to the money. We still count paper. This ain't a pump and dump, baby.
Rick Ross already felt the burn before. Remember when Ross abandoned his own squad in Canada, got stomped out and embarrassed, then tried to spin it later as a test of loyalty? That's not loyalty. That's manipulative, straight villain behavior. Ross hyped Meech up, made it look like they were brothers, told him to ignore 50, and dangled a dream of money, fame, and influence. But in the end, it was nothing but smoke and mirrors. Empty talk, hollow promises. Whack 100 even called it out, saying Ross was bluffing the whole time. If Ross really intended to help Meech, he would have moved tactfully, kept things professional, and put real business plays in motion. Instead, he clowned around, bragged like he was buying the rights to the entire BMF series, and took slick shots at 50 in interviews. And when that power play collapsed into nothing, Ross went ghost. No more big talk about Big Meech. No more loyalty posts, acting like the man didn't even exist. Ross only speaks up when it benefits his pockets these days. And when it comes to Meech, he's no longer part of that money-making circle. But this is where things start to unravel. Because rumor has it Ross was the real reason Big Meech's highly anticipated Welcome Home concert was cancelled, the same event everyone thought 50 ruined. Reports now suggest Ross was moving behind the curtains, making sure Meech never got the spotlight or the bag that came with it. Ross didn't want Meech shining. He wanted him tucked in the shadows, reduced to a background character in his own story, all while Ross stayed in the front, cashing in on the illusion of loyalty and control. When 50 finally broke his silence, his response was ice cold. He brushed it off, saying he had nothing to do with the cancellation. Instead, he dropped a frigid post online, "Don't call my phone, please. Hope today is pleasant for you. Cheers to Valentine's Day." Icy, calm, calculated. That wasn't just a casual message, it was a warning shot. The type of coded statement that comes from someone who moves silently, then strikes with force. At first, people doubted it, but slowly the puzzle pieces began to fit. Think back to Ross Notoria's BMF anthem where he rapped, "I suppose I'm Big Meech." To Meech, it sounded like respect, like admiration. But here's the twist. What if it wasn't homage at all? What if Ross wasn't honoring him, but trying to be him? Does it sound far-fetched when you examine Ross' entire playbook? Absolutely not. His whole persona has been built off the reputations of real-life street legends. He has repeatedly taken names, stories, and merchandise from those who actually built something in the underworld. This isn't speculation, it's documented fact.